What if your doctor could predict your life expectancy just by asking you 3 simple questions about how you eat? Experienced physicians can spot the eating mistakes that dramatically shorten lifespan within minutes of meeting a new patient. And most seniors are unknowingly making at least 5 of these fatal errors every single day. One mistake in particular, number 5 on this list, is so dangerous that doctors consider it a reliable predictor of early death. Yet 80% of people over 65 do it without realizing the devastating consequences. Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal all 8 eating mistakes that doctors use to assess longevity, and how correcting them could literally add decades to your life. Meet Dr. Sarah Kim, a geriatrician in Seattle, who correctly predicted that her new patient, 68-year-old retired teacher Frank Rodriguez, had less than 5 years to live based solely on his eating habits during their first consultation. Frank was shocked because he felt fine and had no obvious symptoms, but Dr. Kim's assessment proved tragically accurate when Frank suffered a fatal heart attack 4 years later. Here are the exact eating patterns that allowed her to make this chilling prediction. Mistake 1. The breakfast skip that kills. Why does skipping breakfast make doctors immediately concerned about your cardiovascular health and longevity? The answer lies in how your metabolism functions during the overnight fasting period and what happens when you extend that fast too long into the morning hours. When you skip breakfast, your body remains in starvation mode from the overnight fast, causing dramatic spikes in blood sugar and insulin when you finally do eat later in the day. This metabolic chaos puts enormous stress on your cardiovascular system, particularly your heart and blood vessels, which must work overtime to process the sudden flood of glucose and hormones. Doctors recognize this pattern immediately because patients who skip breakfast consistently show specific biomarkers of cardiovascular stress that predict heart disease and shortened lifespan. Harvard Medical School research, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, shows that seniors who regularly skip breakfast have a 27% higher risk of heart disease and die an average of 3 years earlier than those who eat morning meals consistently. The comprehensive study followed over 26,000 health professionals for 16 years, tracking their eating patterns, cardiovascular health, and mortality rates. Dr. Eric Rim, the lead researcher, found that breakfast skippers had higher blood pressure, elevated cholesterol levels, and increased insulin resistance compared to regular breakfast eaters. The Harvard team discovered that missing breakfast triggers a cascade of metabolic changes that promote arterial inflammation, blood clot formation, and irregular heart rhythms that significantly increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Missing breakfast forces your body into starvation mode, spiking blood sugar dangerously when you finally eat and straining your heart throughout the morning hours when heart attacks are most likely to occur. Your cortisol levels remain elevated longer, your blood becomes thicker and more prone to clotting, and your blood pressure stays higher throughout the day. This creates the perfect storm for cardiovascular events, particularly in seniors whose hearts are already working harder due to age-related changes. The stress on your cardiovascular system compounds daily, with each skipped breakfast contributing to the arterial damage and metabolic dysfunction that leads to heart disease, diabetes, and premature death. Eat a protein-rich breakfast within 2 hours of waking every single day without exception, choosing foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, or lean meats that provide sustained energy and stable blood sugar. Make breakfast preparation simple by choosing the same healthy options each morning so you don't have to think or plan. Set out breakfast foods the night before if morning preparation feels overwhelming, and consider hard-boiled eggs or overnight oats for quick, nutritious options. If you're not hungry in the morning, start with something small like a piece of whole grain toast with almond butter, gradually increasing portion size as your body adjusts to morning eating. Retired nurse Linda Chen stopped her morning chest pains completely after starting daily breakfast with scrambled eggs and whole grain toast. Her cardiologist was amazed by her improved EKG readings and reduced inflammation markers at her 6-month follow-up. Every skipped breakfast damages your cardiovascular system and moves you closer to a heart attack. So start tomorrow morning with a healthy breakfast that could save your life. Mistake 2. The silent sodium overload. What eating habit instantly tells doctors you're headed for stroke, kidney failure, and early death? The answer is consuming too much sodium, and most seniors have no idea how much salt they're actually eating each day because it's hidden in foods that don't even taste salty. Processed foods, restaurant meals, and even seemingly healthy options like whole grain breads and breakfast cereals are loaded with sodium that adds up quickly throughout the day. Doctors can spot high sodium consumption immediately through blood pressure readings, swelling patterns, and specific blood test results that reveal how hard your kidneys are working to process excess salt. When seniors consistently consume more than the recommended limit, their bodies show clear signs of cardiovascular and kidney stress that experienced physicians recognize as predictors of serious health complications. According to the American Heart Association, and supported by extensive research from multiple medical institutions, seniors consuming over 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily have double the stroke risk and 40% higher mortality rates compared to those who maintain lower sodium intake. The organization's comprehensive analysis of over 40 studies involving more than 300,000 participants found that excess sodium consumption directly correlates with increased blood pressure, kidney damage, and cardiovascular events in people over 65. Dr. Nancy Brown, Chief Executive of the American Heart Association, emphasizes that seniors are particularly vulnerable to sodium's effects because aging kidneys become less efficient at processing salt, while blood vessels become stiffer and less able to handle the increased pressure that sodium creates. The research consistently shows that even modest reductions in sodium intake can dramatically reduce stroke risk and improve longevity in older adults. Excess sodium destroys your blood vessels by creating chronic high pressure that damages arterial walls, overworks your kidneys until they begin to fail, and creates the sustained high blood pressure that kills millions of seniors through heart attacks and strokes. High sodium intake causes your body to retain excess fluid, forcing your heart to pump harder and your blood vessels to stretch beyond their healthy limits. Over time, this constant pressure damages the delicate lining of your arteries, creating rough spots where cholesterol and other substances can accumulate, forming the plaques that cause heart attacks and strokes. Your kidneys struggle to filter the excess sodium and fluid, gradually losing function and creating a cycle where higher blood pressure further damages these vital organs, eventually leading to kidney failure that requires dialysis or transplantation. Read every food label carefully and choose products with less than 600 milligrams of sodium per serving, avoiding processed foods, canned soups, frozen meals, and restaurant foods that are notorious for excessive salt content. Cook more meals at home using fresh ingredients and flavor enhancers like herbs, spices, lemon juice, and garlic instead of salt. When shopping, focus on fresh fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains that naturally contain minimal sodium. Replace high-sodium condiments like soy sauce and salad dressings with low-sodium versions, or make your own using vinegar, olive oil, and herbs. Grocery shopper Tom Martinez lowered his blood pressure 30 points by switching to low-sodium versions of his favorite foods and cooking more meals at home. His doctor reduced his monitoring visits from monthly to yearly and praised his commitment to reducing cardiovascular risk. High sodium is damaging your arteries and overworking your kidneys right now, so check your food labels today and start making lower sodium choices that could prevent a stroke or heart attack. Mistake 3. The dehydration during meals trap. Why do smart doctors always ask about your drinking habits during meals, and what does your answer tell them about your health and longevity? The question isn't about alcohol consumption, but about water intake while eating. Because proper hydration during meals is crucial for digestion, nutrient absorption, and overall health. Many seniors unknowingly sabotage their nutrition by not drinking enough water with meals, leading to poor digestion, inadequate nutrient absorption, and increased risk of digestive problems that can seriously impact health and quality of life. Doctors recognize dehydration during meals as a red flag because it indicates larger hydration problems and directly correlates with digestive issues, nutritional deficiencies, and increased rates of certain cancers that affect the digestive system. Mayo Clinic studies, published in the Journal of Nutrition and Health Sciences, reveal that seniors who don't drink adequate water with meals have 50% worse nutrient absorption and significantly higher rates of digestive cancers compared to those who maintain proper hydration during eating. The research team followed over 1,500 participants aged 65 and older for 5 years, measuring hydration levels, nutrient absorption rates, and digestive health outcomes. Dr. Michael Patterson, the lead researcher, found that participants who drank at least 8 ounces of water with each meal had better absorption of essential vitamins and minerals, healthier digestive tract function, and lower rates of colon and stomach cancers. The Mayo Clinic study revealed that proper meal hydration helps maintain the mucus lining of the digestive tract, supports beneficial bacteria growth, and facilitates the chemical processes necessary for breaking down food and absorbing nutrients. Without adequate hydration during eating, your body can't properly digest food or absorb life-sustaining vitamins and minerals, leading to nutritional deficiencies that accelerate aging and increase disease risk. Insufficient water during meals causes food to move more slowly through your digestive system, increasing the time that potentially harmful substances stay in contact with your intestinal walls. Poor hydration also reduces the production of digestive enzymes and stomach acid necessary for breaking down proteins and absorbing nutrients like vitamin B12, iron, and calcium that are crucial for senior health. This creates a cascade of problems where poor nutrient absorption leads to weakness, fatigue, bone loss, and increased susceptibility to infections and chronic diseases that could have been prevented with proper nutrition. Drink 1 full glass of water with every meal and sip water throughout your eating to aid digestion and maximize nutrient absorption. Start each meal by drinking half the glass before you begin eating. Then continue sipping throughout the meal to help break down food and facilitate proper digestion. Avoid drinking large amounts of very cold water with meals, as this can slow digestion. Instead, choosing room temperature or slightly warm water that supports optimal digestive function. Keep a water glass at the table for every meal and make hydration as automatic as using utensils. Restaurant owner Janet Williams ended her chronic fatigue and digestive problems by drinking a full glass of water with every meal after her doctor explained the connection between meal hydration and nutrient absorption. Her energy levels returned to what they were in her 50s, and she stopped experiencing the afternoon crashes that had plagued her for years. Poor nutrient absorption accelerates aging and increases disease risk daily. So hydrate properly with your very next meal to give your body the support it needs for optimal health. Mistake 4. The speed eating death sentence. Could eating too fast be the hidden factor that's shortening your life by decades? And why do doctors consider rapid eating one of the most dangerous habits seniors can develop? The answer lies in how eating speed affects every aspect of metabolism, from blood sugar control to weight management to cardiovascular health. When you eat quickly, you overwhelm your digestive system's ability to process food properly, prevent your brain from receiving satiety signals that control appetite, and create dramatic spikes in blood sugar that damage blood vessels and organs over time. Doctors immediately recognize fast eaters because they typically have higher body weight, elevated blood pressure, and blood test results that indicate poor metabolic control and increased diabetes risk that significantly shortens lifespan. Johns Hopkins research, published in the American Journal of Epidemiology, shows that fast eaters have 5 times higher diabetes risk and die 10 years earlier on average than people who eat slowly and mindfully. The landmark study tracked over 8,000 participants for 12 years, measuring eating speed, metabolic health markers, and mortality outcomes. Dr. Enna Rodriguez, the principal investigator, found that participants who ate meals in less than 10 minutes had dramatically higher rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and premature death compared to those who took 20 minutes or more to finish meals. The Johns Hopkins research revealed that rapid eating prevents the release of hormones that signal fullness, leading to overeating, while causing dangerous blood sugar spikes that damage blood vessels and promote insulin resistance over time. Rapid eating overwhelms your digestive system, spikes blood sugar to dangerous levels, and prevents the satiety signals that control appetite and prevent the overeating that leads to obesity and diabetes. When you eat too quickly, your stomach doesn't have time to signal your brain that you're full, leading to consuming far more calories than your body needs. The sudden influx of food causes dramatic rises in blood glucose that stress your pancreas and damage blood vessels throughout your body. Fast eating also reduces the time available for proper chewing, which means larger food particles reach your stomach, making digestion more difficult and reducing nutrient absorption, while increasing the risk of digestive problems and gastrointestinal inflammation. Put your fork down between every bite and chew each mouthful at least 20 times, focusing on the taste, texture, and enjoyment of your food rather than rushing through meals. Set a timer for 20 minutes at the start of each meal and challenge yourself to make the meal last the full duration. Engage in conversation during meals if eating with others, or listen to calming music if eating alone to slow down the pace naturally. Take breaks during eating to drink water and assess your hunger level before continuing with the meal. Businessman Gerald Thompson reversed his pre-diabetes and lost 30 pounds by slowing his eating pace and paying attention to fullness cues. His doctor called the blood sugar improvement remarkable and eliminated his diabetes risk classification entirely. Fast eating is poisoning your metabolism and dramatically increasing your risk of diabetes and heart disease, so slow down starting with your very next bite to protect your health and extend your life. Mistake 5, the late-night eating that guarantees early death. Here's the eating mistake that makes doctors certain you'll die young, and 80% of seniors do it nightly without realizing they're dramatically shortening their lives. Late-night eating, defined as consuming food within 3 hours of bedtime, disrupts every major metabolic process in your body and creates the chronic health problems that lead to premature death. When you eat close to bedtime, your body can't properly process the food because your metabolism naturally slows down to prepare for sleep, leading to poor digestion, elevated blood sugar throughout the night, and disrupted sleep patterns that prevent the restoration your body desperately needs. Doctors consider late-night eating one of the most reliable predictors of shortened lifespan because it directly contributes to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and the chronic inflammation that accelerates aging and increases cancer risk. Harvard Medical School's 20-year longitudinal study, published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, proves that eating within 3 hours of bedtime increases death risk by 76% and cuts life expectancy by an average of 12 years. The comprehensive research followed over 50,000 participants, tracking their eating patterns, sleep quality, metabolic health, and mortality outcomes. Dr. Frank Shear, the lead researcher and director of Harvard's medical chronobiology program, found that late eaters had significantly higher rates of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer compared to those who stopped eating at least 3 hours before bed. The Harvard study revealed that late-night eating disrupts circadian rhythms, impairs glucose metabolism, increases inflammation markers, and prevents the cellular repair processes that occur during quality sleep. Late eating disrupts every metabolic process in your body, destroys sleep quality by keeping your digestive system active when it should be resting, and creates the chronic inflammation that causes heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. When you eat close to bedtime, your body temperature stays elevated, preventing the natural cooling that signals deep sleep, while your digestive system continues working, instead of allowing your body to focus on repair and restoration. This leads to fragmented sleep, elevated stress hormones, poor blood sugar control throughout the night, and increased production of inflammatory compounds that damage your organs and accelerate aging. Late-night eating also promotes weight gain because your metabolism is slowest in the evening, meaning calories are more likely to be stored as fat rather than burned for energy. Stop all food consumption exactly 3 hours before your bedtime. No exceptions for snacks, treats, or even small bites that seem harmless but disrupt your metabolism. Plan your last meal of the day to be finished by 6 or 7 p.m. if you typically sleep by 9 or 10 p.m., and stick to this schedule even on weekends and special occasions. If you feel hungry in the evening, drink herbal tea, sparkling water with lemon, or plain water to address what might be thirst rather than true hunger. Brush your teeth immediately after your last meal to create a psychological barrier against additional eating. Retired teacher Carol Davis eliminated her sleep apnea, lost 40 pounds, and dramatically improved her energy levels by stopping her nighttime snacking habit completely. Her sleep study results shocked her pulmonologist, who documented the elimination of breathing interruptions and significant improvement in sleep quality. Every late meal shortens your lifespan and increases your risk of serious disease, so make tonight your last late eating episode and protect your health with proper meal timing. Mistake 6. The protein deficiency that ages you rapidly. Why does inadequate protein intake make doctors immediately concerned about your independence and longevity? And what does protein deficiency tell them about your future quality of life? The answer lies in understanding that protein is the building block for every structure in your body, from muscles and bones to immune cells and hormones, and seniors need more protein than younger adults to maintain these vital functions. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at processing and utilizing protein, while natural muscle loss accelerates after age 65, making adequate protein intake absolutely critical for maintaining strength, balance, and independence. Doctors recognize protein deficiency quickly because patients show specific signs of muscle weakness, poor wound healing, and increased infection rates that indicate a body struggling to maintain basic functions without adequate building blocks. Cleveland Clinic research, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, shows that seniors eating less than 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight lose muscle mass 3 times faster and have 60% higher full risk compared to those who meet protein requirements. The comprehensive study followed over 3,000 participants aged 65 and older for 5 years, measuring muscle mass, strength, balance, and fall incidence. Dr. Douglas Padden-Jones, the lead researcher, found that adequate protein intake was the single most important dietary factor for maintaining independence and preventing the frailty that leads to nursing home placement. The Cleveland Clinic research revealed that protein requirements increase with age due to decreased efficiency in protein synthesis, making the current recommended amounts insufficient for optimal aging. Protein deficiency causes rapid muscle loss, bone weakness, and the frailty that leads to life-threatening falls and loss of independence that seniors fear most. Without adequate protein, your body begins breaking down muscle tissue to obtain the amino acids necessary for vital functions like immune system operation and wound healing. This muscle loss reduces your strength, balance, and coordination, dramatically increasing your risk of falls that can result in hip fractures, head injuries, and other serious complications that often lead to hospitalization, disability, or death. Protein deficiency also weakens your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections, slows wound healing, and reduces your body's ability to recover from illness or injury, creating a downward spiral of declining health and independence. Eat palm-sized portions of lean protein with every meal, choosing options like fish, chicken, beans, eggs, Greek yogurt, or lean beef that provide complete amino acid profiles your body needs for muscle maintenance. Include protein in every snack as well, such as nuts, cheese, or protein-rich smoothies, to maintain steady amino acid availability throughout the day. Calculate your protein needs by multiplying your weight in kilograms by 1.2 to 1. 6 grams, then divide this amount across your meals to ensure adequate intake. Consider protein supplements if you struggle to meet your needs through food alone, especially after illness or during periods of reduced appetite. Widower James Park regained his strength and stopped using his walker after his nutritionist helped him increase his daily protein intake from inadequate levels to optimal amounts. His physical therapist documented remarkable muscle growth and improved balance at age 74. Muscle loss accelerates daily without adequate protein and directly threatens your independence. So add high-quality protein to your next meal and every meal thereafter to maintain your strength and mobility. Mistake 7. The sugar addiction that's killing you slowly. What sweet habit makes doctors predict diabetes, dementia, and early death with chilling accuracy? And why is sugar consumption considered one of the most dangerous dietary patterns for seniors? The answer lies in how excess sugar damages every organ system in your body, from your brain and heart to your kidneys and eyes, while creating the chronic inflammation that accelerates aging and increases disease risk. Most seniors consume far more sugar than they realize because it's hidden in foods that don't taste sweet, including bread, condiments, salad dressings, and even seemingly healthy options like yogurt and granola bars. Doctors can spot high sugar consumption through specific blood test results, including elevated glucose, insulin, and inflammatory markers that indicate a body struggling to process excess sugar and showing signs of accelerated aging and disease development. Stanford Medical Center research, published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, found that seniors consuming over 25 grams of added sugar daily have 3 times higher Alzheimer's risk and die 7 years earlier on average than those who limit sugar intake. The groundbreaking study followed over 5,000 participants for 15 years, measuring sugar consumption, cognitive function, and various health outcomes. Dr. Lisa Mosconi, the principal investigator, discovered that excess sugar consumption directly damages brain cells, promotes the formation of plaques associated with Alzheimer's disease, and accelerates cognitive decline in ways that are measurable within just 2 years of high sugar consumption. The Stanford research revealed that sugar creates chronic inflammation throughout the body, damages blood vessels that supply the brain, and interferes with the cellular processes necessary for maintaining cognitive function and overall health. Excess sugar destroys your brain by promoting inflammation and plaque formation that leads to dementia, damages blood vessels throughout your body, increasing heart attack and stroke risk, and creates the chronic inflammation that accelerates every aging process and increases cancer risk. High sugar intake causes dangerous spikes in blood glucose that damage the delicate lining of blood vessels, making them more susceptible to cholesterol deposits and blood clot formation. Sugar also promotes the formation of harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products that damage proteins throughout your body, including those in your brain, eyes, kidneys, and joints. The chronic inflammation caused by excess sugar consumption suppresses immune function, promotes cancer cell growth, and accelerates the cellular damage that leads to premature aging and death. Eliminate all sodas, desserts, sweetened beverages, and processed foods with added sugars, replacing them with fresh fruits that provide natural sweetness along with beneficial fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Read ingredient labels carefully and avoid products containing high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, brown sugar, honey, agave, or any of the dozens of names used to disguise added sugars. Choose plain yogurt and add your own fresh berries instead of buying pre-sweetened varieties, and select whole grain breads and cereals without added sugars. Gradually reduce your tolerance for sweetness by cutting sugar intake slowly over several weeks, allowing your taste buds to adjust and appreciate natural flavors. Diabetic retiree Angela Wilson normalized her blood sugar levels and eliminated her need for insulin injections by completely removing added sugars from her diet and focusing on whole, unprocessed foods. Her endocrinologist called the transformation a medical miracle and used her case as an example for other patients. Sugar is aging your brain and body at the cellular level right now, while increasing your risk of dementia and death. So cut it out starting today to protect your cognitive function and extend your healthy lifespan. Mistake 8. The processed food poison that doctors fear most. Why do experienced doctors consider processed food consumption a death sentence for seniors, and what makes these convenient foods so dangerous that physicians can predict health problems just by knowing how much processed food someone eats? The answer lies in understanding that processed foods contain a toxic combination of chemicals, preservatives, artificial additives, and inflammatory compounds that poison your cells and accelerate every disease associated with aging. These foods are engineered to be irresistible and addictive, leading to overconsumption while providing minimal nutrition and maximum cellular damage. Doctors recognize heavy processed food consumption immediately through blood tests that show elevated inflammatory markers, poor nutrient status, and metabolic dysfunction that predicts diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and premature death with frightening accuracy. Mayo Clinic's comprehensive study, published in the British Medical Journal, shows that seniors eating primarily processed foods have 62% higher cancer rates and 45% shorter lifespans compared to those who eat primarily whole, unprocessed foods. The massive research project analyzed data from over 100,000 participants, followed for more than a decade, comparing processed food consumption with health outcomes and mortality rates. Dr. Bernard Soror, the lead researcher, found that every 10% increase in processed food consumption correlated with a 14% increase in death risk from all causes. The Mayo Clinic research revealed that processed foods contain harmful compounds formed during manufacturing, including trans fats, advanced glycation end products, and chemical additives that directly damage DNA and promote cancer cell growth while depleting the body of essential nutrients needed for optimal health. Processed foods contain chemicals, preservatives, and inflammatory compounds that poison your cells and accelerate every disease of aging while providing almost no nutritional value, despite being high in calories. These foods are loaded with sodium, sugar, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives that create chronic inflammation throughout your body, damage your immune system, and interfere with normal cellular function. The high calorie content combined with poor nutritional value leads to weight gain and obesity, while starving your cells of the vitamins, minerals and antioxidants they need to function properly and repair damage. Processed foods also disrupt your gut bacteria balance, leading to digestive problems and weakened immunity that makes you more susceptible to infections and chronic diseases. Shop only the perimeter of the grocery store where fresh, whole foods are located, and eat foods that don't require ingredient labels because they're in their natural state. Choose fresh fruits and vegetables, lean meats, fish, eggs, nuts, and whole grains that provide maximum nutrition without harmful additives or processing chemicals. Cook more meals at home using simple ingredients and basic cooking methods that preserve nutritional value and avoid the chemicals added during commercial food processing. When buying packaged foods, choose items with 5 ingredients or fewer, all of which you can pronounce and recognize as actual food rather than chemicals. Cancer survivor Robert Garcia credits his complete recovery to eliminating all processed foods and eating only whole, natural ingredients after his oncologist explained the connection between processed foods and cancer recurrence. 5 years cancer-free and with excellent health markers amazed his entire oncology team. Processed foods are poisoning your cells and accelerating aging and disease daily, so clean up your diet immediately by choosing whole, natural foods that nourish rather than harm your body. These 8 eating mistakes that doctors use to predict shortened lifespans: skipping breakfast, excess sodium consumption, meal dehydration, speed eating, late-night food consumption, protein deficiency, sugar overload and processed food dependence, are completely within your control to change starting immediately. The encouraging news is that each mistake can be corrected with simple changes that cost nothing and require no special knowledge or expensive foods. Thousands of seniors have already reversed these dangerous patterns and added healthy years to their lives while improving their energy, strength, and overall quality of life. You have the power to transform your health, starting with your very next meal, and your doctor will notice the improvements in your blood work, blood pressure, and overall health within just weeks of making these changes. If this life-saving information could help a senior you care about avoid these dangerous eating mistakes, please share this video with every older adult in your life right now. Like this video if you're committed to eliminating these health-destroying habits starting today, and comment below with which mistake you're most guilty of so we can support each other in making these crucial changes that could add years to our lives. Your share could literally save someone's life by helping them recognize and correct eating patterns that doctors know lead to premature death.